Hi there, lads. Welcome back to the Cossy podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. It's now official. Mikel Merino is the only midfielder Mikel Arteta wants this summer. We have given up on all the other targets. Amadou Onana is going to Aston Villa. Yusuf Fofana is going to AC Milan. And of course, Douglas Luiz is already at Juventus. That means that Mikel Merino is the player Mikel Arteta wants and wants alone. Now, Mikel Arteta has had contacts with Mikel Merino again in the last 24 hours to talk about the project, to talk about the possibility of signing for Arsenal, and there is some positive news out of that. We're going to be discussing that in this video. Real Sociedad have also given us a massive boost and update on the pursuit of the player, as they have decided to set the price and they've given up on keeping the player this summer. However, they will be selling to the highest bidder. That means that they are planning on creating a bidding war. Will Arsenal enter the bidding war? Should Arsenal enter the bidding war? We're going to be diving into all that. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into it. Now, in the last 24 hours, a lot has happened on this deal, especially when it comes to Arsenal giving up on all other players and just concentrating on Mikel Merino. Real Sociedad, let's start there. They have set their asking price for the player after confirming that they're not going to continue negotiating with him and they're not going to continue begging him to stay at the club. Initially, the club's position was they could keep him, they could convince him to stay, like they did with Martin Zubimendi, like they did with a couple of other players. However, Mikel Merino made his position very clear a couple of days ago, told the club, I'm not going to stay. So this ends in two ways. One, you either sell me this summer to any of the clubs interested. He's not really chosen a specific project, but he's upgrade to the Arsenal project, which means that he might go to Atletico Madrid. They want him. He might go to Barca. He might go to Arsenal. So he's told them, you either sell me to any of the projects that want me, or actually you let me stay for 1 more year. My contract runs down, and next summer I move out on a free. So La Real are saying we're a smart club. We know what to do. We've done a lot of business. We cannot allow a player like Mikel Merino, 50 million euros market value for the last 4 years. We can't let you go for free. We can't let you just walk away like that. You're one of the best midfielders in Spain last season. We are actually going to cash in and we're going to make some money this summer. And that is where Arsenal actually get their first major boost of this on this story. So they're saying La Real, they're going to sell to the highest bidder. They will sell to the highest club that brings in the biggest amount of money. And Arsenal are prepared to outbid Atletico Madrid and also to outbid Barcelona, two clubs that are very much interested in Mikel Merino. So Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, they're prepared to outbid. They're prepared to offer more than ATM. They're also prepared to offer more than FC Barcelona at the moment. So La Real, I think it's in their favor now that a bidding war actually breaks out. If a bidding war comes out, if we can see Barcelona maybe bidding 25 million euros, Atletico Madrid going for around 30 million euros, and Arsenal going for 35 million euros, it's going to be in their best interest at the moment. Now, I understand that for FC Barcelona, he is not a major priority. The priority at Barca this summer is Nico Williams. And of course, for Atletico Madrid, he is not a priority as well, as their priority is signing Leno from Real Sociedad, again, who is a centre-back, and that's their priority. So for Arsenal, he is our priority. La Real are saying, we are selling to you if you're the highest bidder. If you can outbid Atletico Madrid, if you can outbid Barcelona, we are actually going to be selling to you. I think, in my opinion, that's a very, very good deal for Arsenal. That's a very open deal, for Arsenal. It's a deal we can go and do. I think we can outbid ATM. I think we can outbid FC Barcelona as well. Now, contacts have taken place once again between Mikel Arteta and Mikel Merino. According to Estadio 8, they're saying that with 1 year left on his contract, Mikel Merino is now expected to leave Real Sociedad this summer. The Spanish club will consider selling at 27 million pounds, 0.5. That is 30 million euros. So again, once again, Mikel Arteta had contacts with Mikel Merino. That was around 5 days ago or 6 days ago, and they had discussions. We didn't know what came out. Now, again, in the last 24 hours, as we walk towards the end of the Euros, this is the deal that's going to progress after the Euros. This is the deal that we expect to really pick up some legs after the Euros. So as we progress to the final tomorrow, it is believed that Mikel Arteta has talked to Mikel Merino again on this deal, and this time the player has given his green light to the Arsenal project. Doesn't have a problem with playing for Arsenal, doesn't have a problem with signing for Arsenal, but that doesn't mean he's turning down Barcelona. That doesn't mean he's turning down Atletico Madrid. This simply means that if Arsenal can agree personal terms with him and agree a price for him, he will move up to London with Mikel Arteta. If ATM agree personal terms and a price, then he will go to ATM. It will also depend on who Real Sociedad really want to sell to. But they're saying for them, they want to sell to the club with the highest amount of money. Now, I cannot really explain how Mikel Arteta has zeroed down on Mikel Merino, but we will have a video explaining Mikel Merino's game and what he brings to the midfield and how different he is from Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. But what I can say is that Mikel is obsessed with Mikel Merino. Mikel is really locked onto Mikel Merino. Today we have just received, I wouldn't say disturbing, but I would say saddening news that Amadou Onana is going to be replacing Douglas Luiz at Aston Villa. Bear in mind that Arsenal wanted Douglas Luiz initially, and we thought maybe this summer, as Aston Villa said that he's available, Arsenal could sign him for 50 million euros. It was a bargain, in my opinion. Arsenal decided they won't sign Douglas Luiz. He goes over to Juventus, and life moves on, and we were all like, okay, he goes over to Juve. Arsenal didn't want him, maybe. That's the end. Arsenal want Onana. And then Amadou Onana has actually gone to Aston Villa. A deal between Everton and Villa is close to being agreed for 50 million. And personal terms have already been agreed for the player to join Aston Villa. And that shows you that Arsenal are nowhere near interested in all these players that we've been linked with before. Joao Neves, nowhere interested. Yusuf Fofana is also very close to joining AC Milan. Arsenal not interested in hijacking that deal anywhere. Onana, Arsenal not interested in hijacking that deal anywhere. And even the likes of Douglas Luiz. So it's Mikel Merino that Mikel Arteta has seen, and he has said, this is the player. This is the midfielder that I want. He's physical, he's tall, his passing ability is insane. He can create, he can score. That is what I want to add to my midfield. He's 28 years of age. Probably Mikel is going with experience. Probably he's going with pedigree. We'll find out when we sign him. We'll find out when we get to bring him what Mikel Arteta sees in him. But at the moment, he is top priority for Mikel Arteta. He is the player that he actually wants. So talks have taken place, and also the player is okay with joining, Arsenal. Now, this is a deal that's going to take place, and it's a deal that's going to kick in right after the Euros. Just like we saw the Ricardo Calafiori deal, just like we have seen the Onana deal. All these deals, Mikel was talking about the transfer market again and why it is peculiar, bizarre, you can call it whatever you want. And he said, at the moment, many clubs are actually weird. Many clubs are actually, very... many clubs have changed the way they looked at their assets and the way they looked at their players because of PSR. So a player that was going to cost 35 million or 30 million because of the new financial rules in the Premier League is now costing 50 million. And I'm not surprised. This is why Arsenal have walked away from the Amadou Onana deal. I was never sold onto the idea that Arsenal were going to sign Amadou Onana for 50 million. Yes, I knew we wanted him, and I knew that the interest was there. But for 50 million, I was never convinced. I thought Arsenal maximum we were going to offer something like 40 to 45 million. And I thought that would be the maximum. So hearing that Aston Villa have agreed to sign him for 50 million, that already tells you what Arsenal is all about. This summer, we are not looking to spend big money on players. We are looking to just upgrade the quality of the squad. So if you're bringing in a 45 million euro defender, a 45 million euro midfielder, and a 45 million euro attacker, that is going to be the order of the day. So, Merino, green light to Arsenal. That's okay. However, it's not as easy as it sounds. Yes, after the Euros, we are going to see a couple of bids. Probably Arsenal advance on personal terms with the player. I think Arsenal will also do some inquiries when it comes to Real Sociedad, doing some bids and doing sending in some offers. But when it comes to Spanish player, you've got to think about the things. They either want to play for Madrid or they either want to play for Barcelona. So let's talk about the competition. He's played in the Premier League before for Newcastle. He's played in Germany for Dortmund. He's well traveled, and I think when I look at him as a player, I'm like, okay, there is some quality there. Would he turn down Barcelona to join Arsenal? I'm not saying Barca is unrefusable, but for such players, Barcelona is always a dream. It's always a dream for them to play for Barca. If he was 24, 25, I would say 100% sure he's going to choose Arsenal because maybe he wants to play in the Premier League, and then later on in his career, he gets a chance to play for Barca, and then he goes there. But at 28 years of age, he looks at Barcelona wanting him right now as as a prime opportunity for him to represent the biggest club in Spain, or in Catalonia, the biggest club in Spain, right? So Barca are going to be a big threat for Arsenal when it comes to this deal. With Atletico Madrid, I'm not really scared about them. I think with ATM, what they usually do, they always do these deals that if a player really wants to join them and they really like the player, that's their kind of deal. Like signing Lenomo from Real Sociedad. Almost no one wanted him. Of course, other clubs might have wanted, but they just take those deals. It's their easy deal, right? So I think it's between Barcelona and it's between Arsenal. Now, if you're going to get a deal for the highest bidder, Barcelona don't match Arsenal's offer here. They don't, and they will not match Arsenal's offer here, because Arsenal can well and truly say 35 million euros on the table. Can we close this deal, right? It's close to preseason. We've not made any signings. We've not announced any deals. It's worrying. It's a little bit worrying now. Where are the signings? Yes. But I think this is a deal that could progress quickly. It can progress very, very quickly. If Arsenal outbid Barca and agree personal terms with the player, it's a deal. It's a deal done. But I would still keep my eyes on Barca. I know how much influence they have on Spanish players. I know how much players in Spain or players that originate from Spain really love to play for that football club. The other thing that I would actually look into is everyone on board when it comes to Mikel Merino at Arsenal. We have been told that many people are not on board when it comes to the Ricardo Calafiori deal. Many people think that Mikel is making a mistake, and therefore, with Mikel Merino being 28, is it a unanimous decision? I don't think it's a unanimous decision. I think it's a deal again that Mikel really, really highly rates, really wants, but other people at Arsenal are like, we are not sure about these two. We are not sure about Merino, 28. Why are you bringing him in? Why are you not going for a younger midfielder for the future? And secondly, we are already not, on board with the Calafiori deal. Why would we add another deal that needs us to bend our rules? So, is everyone on board with with it at Arsenal? I don't think so, right? Personally, as a player, it's a risky deal. I've said this before. It's a risky deal. If Arsenal can walk away from this deal, if Arsenal can do whatever they can to get out of this deal, I would 100% say, don't do it. Honestly, I would 100% say, don't do it. It's not a bad player. He's a good footballer, but I think they're better out there. And when you look at our problem, which is a number 6, and Mikel Merino pushing Rice in the number 6, I am 100% going to be against this deal. When he signs for Arsenal, I will back him. When he signs for Arsenal, I will 100% be behind his back, the way I've done with Kai Havertz. But at the moment, before he signs, I'm looking at this deal as a deal that we can avoid. It's a deal we can do away with, because it's a deal that's going to force us to watch a lot of dead ball, a lot of boring ball. Imagine Mikel Merino with Declan Rice in the same midfield. Two players, huge, tall, passing sideways merchants. That is the new Arsenal. I don't want to watch that. Honestly, I don't want to watch that. So I would rather sit on my tele, I'd rather sit on my TV and watch Burnley versus Ipswich, because I know there is no quality to expect from those two, than watch an Arsenal team packed in midfield with Mikel Merino and Declan Rice. Of course, I will watch the games, but what I'm trying to say here is that I don't know why Mikel is so obsessed with this guy. I don't know why. I don't know why he's the one, right? Yes, I've seen his clips, but I don't think clips define everything about a player. So if he comes in, we'll probably know. We'll probably get to know why he's the one, why he's obsessed with Mikel Merino, why Mikel Arteta is obsessed with him. But at the moment, for me, I am not, I'm not obsessed with him. I'm not convinced about him as the ideal deal. I'm not, right? So that's where we are. Real Sociedad are selling. The transfer price has been set as well, and also at the moment, the player is 100% leaving the club.